The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the glorious goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week we're starting off with John Moffett, supervisor of the town of Mendon. John, how's Mendon cooking?
Well, we're cooking pretty good right now. We have a meeting on August 29th. It's a special town board meeting, and it is to consider a moratorium on short-term rentals within the confines of the town of Mendon, outside the village of Honeoye Falls. We have had several complaints about short-term rentals, and the reason we want to do a moratorium, or we're considering, I should say, doing a moratorium, is that this gives us time to review our code and to see if we need to make any updates with things like VRBOs and that type of thing that's relatively recent and in popularity over the last couple of years. We want to make sure that our code addresses those types of things. So that's a public hearing, August 29th, 7 o'clock at the Mendon Community Center. Once that public hearing is over with, the town board will consider the moratorium, which is for 6 months. Any input from the public, we would appreciate it. You can attend, obviously, the public hearing, either virtually or in person, or send me an email and I will enter it into the record. Let's see, school tax bills will be coming out shortly. I know everybody's going to race to their mailbox for that. And I just want to remind everyone that if you are a town of Mendon resident and you are in either the Honeoye Falls-Lima or the Pittsford Central School District in those confines, you can pay at Town Hall. We also have a drop box by our entrance on West Main Street. So if you can't get here during business hours, you can put it in the drop box and we will mail you a receipt. Lastly, we are working on our Bendentown budget, and apparently our money printing machine is broken that we have in the basement. So that's sarcasm if you don't get that part of it. So we are working, as we have done over many years, we use the basis of zero-based budgeting. We do not use what was in the budget last year. We look at what we actually spent over the last couple of years. And we're working on that. Our tentative budget is scheduled to be unveiled to the public on September 12th at the town board meeting. At that point, the town board will accept the tentative budget. That gives them an opportunity to review it. And then most likely on the 26th of September, we will move to preliminary status with any changes the town board wants to have. We will schedule a public hearing, which will likely be on October 17th. At that time, the public can come in and tell us that we need to have the money-making machine in the basement fixed. Now, again, sarcasm. But we will we'll have that public hearing on the 17th. And at that point, I would imagine we will probably adopt a final budget on or about October 17th. That's been our kind of traditional timetable over several years. So we do want input from the public. This is a little over $5 million budget. Roughly half of that comes from taxes. So we certainly want input from the budget on that because, quite frankly, it's your money. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, John. Well, we've got word in from Maggie Ridge. Headlines from Scottsville. There were numerous sightings of a scraggly-looking fox in the village that wasn't avoiding people, and that had residents concerned. a photograph of the saddest, most distressed fox you've ever seen was circulated on social media. He was covered with mange, a mite that burrows under the skin and causes intense irritation and scratching. Thankfully, he was trapped and brought to a wildlife rehabber. We're waiting to hear how he's doing. One of the CDL licensed DPW employees gave his notice and went to work for the town of Wheatland. So we're looking for a replacement. Must be 18 with a clean driving record, and will provide CDL training and licensing. And that's what we have from the village of Scottsville. Now we're going to turn it over to Mike Falk and the town of Lima. Lima. Mike, what's going on in Lima?
Well, Chris, here in Lima and Livingston County, the Economic Development Office is going to be hosting a workshop coming up for business owners. How to be a holiday destination. The workshop features keynote speaker John Schallert, who is a international business guru that they're bringing in to do that. It's going to be Monday, October 3rd from 8 to 4 at the Wadsworth Homestead down in Geneseo. And the details on how to get there and all that would be at growlivco.com. In county is $35 a head. Out of county is $65 a head. The Friends of the Lima Library had a very successful 2-day public book sale to raise money for the library during the Crossroads Festival. Sort of that leveraging of the crowd kind of thing. The Friends of the Library does provide additional funding for the library and helps them with projects and other kinds of programming and things that go on there. If you're curious, if you would like to lend your talents to helping the library thrive, then consider joining the Friends. Call 582-1311 to get details on their next meeting. And lastly, the Glow with Your Hands event is coming up. That's going to be held on September 27th, 2022. And what this is a showcasing of different kinds of employment and jobs to our young folks. So it's geared toward the high school students and those who've just sort of graduated. Folks would get some exposure to agricultural, manufacturing, skilled trades, and a variety of other things, including welding, bricklaying, electrical wiring, heavy equipment operation, and much more. Going to be a lot of representatives from all kinds of businesses that use these skills and that need people. There's also a huge library of video content, and there's even a virtual portion to this symposium. You can get all of the details at www.glowwithyourhands.com. And that's all I've got, Chris.
All right, thanks, Mike. We've got this from Rick Milne, the mayor of Honeoye Falls and legislator of District 5 in Monroe County. He says the village of Honeoye Falls completed its summer concert series, Good Vibes Flowing, and we are extremely pleased with the way the season went. Only one concert was moved to the weather, and rain only slightly impacted one other show. But overall, we got by unscathed. I want to take the time to thank our great sponsors once again, as without these incredible businesses, we wouldn't be able to host all these shows. Four Corners Optometry, Flaherty's Three Flags Restaurant, Mitchell Joseph Insurance, Springwater Sprouts, McQuillan Manufacturing, Handtech Corporation, Salvatore's Pizza, Honeoye Falls Marketplace, Four Seasons Restaurant, Mathstone Corporation, and Crafting a Brand. It's also important to mention that two great teams that provided the food for events, Main Street Cafe and Desiato's Deli and Subs. Both of you stepped up and provided a great service, delicious food, and were very, very supportive. Thank you all those that attended. Our attendance was fantastic, and we are already planning for next year. In other village news, last weekend, the festival at the Falls was a great success. Thank you all to the participants, and we hope you did well. Our thanks to the Masons for providing great food. To the two bands that played, your music was well received. We appreciate the Howard Hanna Realty team and all those that supported this event for bringing the festival back to the Falls, and we look forward to working with you to grow this event. 2 speeding monitor signs have been purchased by the village and are already up and monitoring speeds. This collection data will be shared with the Monroe County Sheriff's Department and New York State Police as simple information to aid in their special details. Please watch your speeds while driving in the village and in our surrounding communities. Our thanks to the New York State Department of Transportation for the milling project on Monroe Street. We have already had positive comments from residents as this has minimized the traffic noise. We hope everyone has a safe week. And oh, by the way, Rick will be hosting office hours in the town of Rush at the library this coming Wednesday, August 31st, beginning at 5:30 p.m. If there are residents within the town of Rush or Legislative District Number 5 that would like to speak with Rick, please stop by Rush. And speaking of Rush, up to bat now, Jerry, the famous Jerry, Supervisor of Rush. Jerry, you're looking quite relaxed. What's going on in Rush?
Well, I am delighted to hear, I knew it, but I'm delighted to hear it announced that Legislator Milne is going to come to Rush on August 26th and communicate with our residents, because I have let people know that Mayor Milne or Legislator Milne is helping us to get water. So maybe he will find out just how many people will vote for him if he does get water for us. I know he's working on it, and it would be a delight. Other than that, I wanted to let everyone know that we're in the budget process, and it is, I've talked with a couple of other supervisors, one in particular, John Moffett from Mendon, and this year is a very difficult year for all of us, I'm sure, because of the inflation, because of the all of the issues that usually aren't bothering us during budget time, cost of living. I talked to Supervisor Moffett this morning about my focus on sustainability. Whatever we work into the budget this year, we've got to make sure that that won't choke the town next year, the year after, the year after that. It's very, very difficult. And I want to make sure that everyone knows that we're focused on not only treating our employees correctly, but also on making sure that our taxpayers aren't burdened by the decisions we make. And it's really a challenge, because earlier Supervisor Moffett was talking about hiring people for the highway crew. We have 2 openings on our highway crew, can't get anyone to fill them. So that's a big problem. We don't want to run the risk of just putting together a package of money printed in the basement. Although I want to call Supervisor Moffett and borrow that machine he was talking about, because that's what I need. But anyway, hopefully we can get 2 additional highway people hired and be done with that. It was actually surprising to see our highway superintendent doing physical work because there was no one else to do it. I also wanted to mention that we have a lot of people who walk recreationally on the Rush Riverside Refuge over on East River Road. And we just recently leased a portion of that property to an outfit called A Horse's Friend. And A Horse's Friend provides all kinds of management activities with horses for kids, young kids who come out of wherever they come from, learn how to take care of horses, learn how to ride horses, learn how to keep horses. And we're looking forward to that being a very worthwhile activity in the town of Rush. They will not be west of the railroad track on that property. They will be to the east of the railroad track. To the west, I wanted to mention that the town highway department has done a lot of trail improvement, maintenance, and preservation over there. And hopefully people will find that to be a good upgrade because it's been kind of difficult to walk over there in some cases. And they have done a good job of preserving some of those trails so people can easily walk on them. They're also talking about putting up snow fence. I told our highway superintendent the other day not to talk like that, but he continued to talk like that. So I imagine that's part of his long range planning for certain areas of the town. We are also going to have a fall festival this year. It will be at the Fireman's Field where it's been every year. And we hope to have a lot of vendors. We hope to have a lot of attendees. And it usually ends up being quite a bit of fun. And we look forward to that this year. Supervisor Moffett also mentioned school tax bills. I can't add anything that he didn't state in his presentation because I know that we will have the tax bills here on those dates and they can be paid here or in installments if that's been arranged. And one last thing I want to talk about is our ongoing quest for water. I sometimes feel like a Native American looking for a rainmaker to get some water in this town. We just had a couple of days of rainwater, but that's really not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about potable water for residents who don't have potable water to use. And it's continuing to be at #1 on our radar. We are going to continue that effort until we get it, but boy, is it a challenge. And I know that it'll come sometime, but will it be sooner than later? I can't guarantee that. We are focused on it and it will happen. That's all I have to share with you. Oh, I have one other thing. We did get 3 people hired, and in the supervisor's office, we've hired Valerie Orbaker. Very, very nice lady, and hope residents come in to meet her. In the assessor's office, we've hired Barbara Draget, and she's a nice lady also. Hope people come in to see her. And in the clerk's office, as a deputy town clerk, we've hired Denise McElvey. And I hope everyone comes in to meet her. 3 wonderful additions. And I know that our residents will appreciate all of them. That's it.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. John, Mike, anything to add? Nothing? All right. Well, thank you all for participating. Thank you all for watching. Remember, we're airing every Sunday at 1 o'clock on our Facebook page. Like the page and you'll be notified when the show goes on, as well as our YouTube channel. Subscribe to that channel and YouTube will tell you when the show's on there. That's all for this week. That's all. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pandimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pandimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.